They are soul on a journey. Have you ever wondered why certain people enter your life only to test you, belittle you, or try to dim your light? Why some encounters seem to carry such a heavy burden of conflict, as if there's an untold story between you? Edgar Cayce, the visionary who revealed the mysteries of the soul through his psychic readings, taught us that nothing happens by chance. Every humiliation, every affront, every moment when someone tries to make us feel small is, in fact, a karmic encounter, a disguised opportunity for the soul to demonstrate its evolution. Today let's delve together into sacred territory, the realm of silent transformation, where true victory doesn't come from shouting, but from the eloquent silence of those who have discovered their inner power. We'll explore 10 profoundly spiritual attitudes that not only silence the mouths of those who humiliate you, but transform the entire energetic dynamic around you, elevating you to a level where cruel words simply can't reach you anymore. The first alchemy, the silence that echoes eternity. When someone humiliates you, the first reaction of the human mind is to retaliate, defend itself, prove its worth through words. But Edgar Cayce revealed something profound. Conscious silence is the language of the mature soul. It's not the silence of fear or submission, but the silence of someone who recognizes that their light doesn't need words to shine. Imagine for a moment that you're standing before a crystal-clear lake. When someone throws a stone into this lake, it may be disturbed momentarily, but it soon returns to its natural serenity. That's the energy you project when you choose conscious silence. Your aggressor, accustomed to reactions, is confronted with something unexpected, a presence that doesn't get shaken, that doesn't play the game of low vibration. Cayce spoke of the Akashic records, that cosmic library where all the soul's experiences are recorded. Often, the person who humiliates you is repeating an old pattern, perhaps from past lives where they exerted power over you or where you allowed your light to be diminished. Conscious silence breaks this ancestral cycle. It's as if you're saying to their soul, no more. In this life, I choose differently. The second transformation, the elegance that disarms. Spiritual elegance is a weapon that doesn't wound, but heals. It's the ability to maintain your inner composure, even when the external world collapses into chaos. When someone humiliates you and you respond with elegance, not the superficial elegance of social graces, but the profound elegance of someone who knows their divine worth, you create an energetic field that completely disarms the aggression. Edgar Cayce taught us that we are eternal beings living a temporary experience. This perspective changes everything. The person trained to diminish you is operating from their own wounds, their own insecurities, their own fears. When you respond with elegance, you're not just protecting yourself, you're offering a mirror for them to see their own obscure light. Think of Jesus, one of the great masters, Cayce saw revered. When he was humiliated, tortured, mocked, he maintained a spiritual elegance that has echoed through the centuries, not because he was divine and you are human, but because he recognized his divine nature while living the human experience, and that same divine spark dwells within you. Disarming elegance manifests in small gestures, in a calm tone of voice, in a gaze that doesn't carry hatred, in a posture that doesn't bow before the emotional storm of others. It's the elegance of someone who knows that this life is just a lesson in the cosmic school of evolution. The third alchemy, the compassion that transforms poison into medicine. Here we touch upon sacred and challenging territory. Compassion for someone who humiliates you is not an act of weakness, but of supreme spiritual strength. Edgar Cayce revealed that every soul is on its evolutionary journey, carrying its own internal battles, its own ghosts from past lives. When someone humiliates you, behind that action lies a wounded soul. Perhaps they were humiliated in the past and now project that pain onto others. Perhaps they carry traumas from previous existences where they were rejected, abandoned, or where their worth was questioned. The person who humiliates is unconsciously shouting, "See my pain, acknowledge my suffering." Compassion doesn't mean accepting abusive behavior or allowing people to walk all over you. It means recognizing the wounded humanity behind the aggression and choosing not to fuel the cycle of pain. It's like planting a seed of light in seemingly barren soil. You may not see the results immediately, but you're contributing to collective healing. Cayce spoke of the law of attraction and how our vibrations attract corresponding experiences. When you respond to humiliation with compassion, you raise your vibrational frequency to a level where cruelty simply can't reach you anymore. It's like going up to a higher floor of a building. The street noises become distant, almost imperceptible. The fourth revelation, the forgiveness that liberates you, not the other forgiveness, is perhaps the most powerful and misunderstood tool on the spiritual journey. Edgar Cayce taught us that forgiving isn't a favor we do for the other, but a gift we give ourselves. It's the key that unlocks the karmic chains that bind us to cycles of pain and resentment. When someone humiliates you and you carry that resentment, you're creating invisible energetic cords that connect you to the low vibration of that experience. It's like carrying a heavy burden that only you can release. Forgiveness is the act of letting go of that baggage, of cutting those cords, of freeing yourself from the emotional prison you've built yourself. But remember, forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or pretending nothing happened. It means acknowledging what happened, feeling the pain, processing it, and then choosing not to let it define your present reality. It's an act of self-love, disguised as love for another. In the Akashic records that Cayce accessed, he saw how souls intertwine across multiple lifetimes, experiencing different roles with each other. The person who humiliates you today may have been your child, your parent, your best friend in other lives. You are here to learn together, to heal together, to evolve together. Forgiveness is the recognition of this cosmic truth. When you forgive, something magical happens. You become invisible to the arrows of others' resentment. The person who tried to diminish you encounter someone who has simply transcended the game of revenge, leaving them without arguments, ammunition, or power over you. The fifth transformation, the silent success that speaks for itself. Edgar Cayce constantly reminded us that we are co-creators with the divine. Every thought, every action, every choice is shaping our reality. When someone humiliates you by questioning your ability, your worth, your potential, the universe offers you a golden opportunity to prove it through actions, not words. Silent success is a form of prayer in motion. It's when you channel all the energy you could spend on arguments, justifications, and defenses into building something beautiful, something meaningful, something that elevates not only you but everyone around you. Imagine that each humiliation is like a grain of sand that enters an oyster. The oyster doesn't expel the sand with anger. It envelops it with pearly layers until it transforms it into a precious pearl. So it is with silent success. You take the pain of humiliation and transform it into fuel for your evolution. Cayce frequently spoke about the importance of life purpose. Every soul comes to Earth with a specific mission, unique talents, and special contributions to offer. When you focus on this larger purpose, the diminishing opinions of others become irrelevant. You are tuned into a higher frequency, a nobler mission. And here's the magic: when you achieve success through silent and dedicated work, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. Your life becomes a living testament to your ability. A person who humiliated you is faced with an undeniable reality. You flourished, despite, or because of the storm they tried to create. The sixth alchemy, sacred indifference. There's a profound difference between cold indifference, born of bitterness, and sacred indifference, born of wisdom. Edgar Cayce taught us that our energy is precious and should be consciously directed. Sacred indifference is the recognition that certain people and situations don't deserve the investment of your vital energy. When someone humiliates you and you respond with sacred indifference, you're making a cosmic statement. Your opinion of me does not define my reality. It's as if you have an invisible energy shield that simply doesn't allow low vibrations to penetrate your aura. Cayce spoke about the energy centers in the human body, the chakras, and how they can be strengthened or weakened depending on where we direct our attention. When you give excessive importance to the negative opinions of others, you are feeding your lower chakras with dense energy. Sacred indifference redirects that energy to higher centers, strengthening your connection with the divine. This is not a cruel or disdainful indifference. It's a loving indifference, like that of a mountain that remains impassive in the face of a storm, knowing that its solidity cannot be shaken by temporary winds. You acknowledge the humanity of the other, but you don't allow their emotional instability to affect your spiritual stability. The person who tried to humiliate you encounters something disconcerting. Someone who is simply unavailable for drama, conflict, or low vibration. It's like trying to light a fire in a place where there's no oxygen. Impossible. The seventh revelation, transformative gratitude. Here we enter territory that might seem paradoxical, being grateful for those who humiliated you. Edgar Cayce taught us that every experience, even the most painful, carries seeds of spiritual growth. Every person who crosses our path is a teacher in disguise, even when the lesson comes wrapped in thorns. Transformative gratitude is not spiritual masochism. It's the mature recognition that this experience of humiliation offered you something valuable, the opportunity to know your own strength, to develop compassion, to strengthen your connection with the divine, to break old patterns you may not even have known existed. In the Akashic records, Cayce saw how certain souls make pre-incarnate agreements to help each other in spiritual growth. Sometimes this agreement involves one soul temporarily accepting the role of antagonist to awaken dormant strengths in the other. It's a loving sacrifice disguised as cruelty. When you can feel genuine gratitude for the person who humiliated you, not for the humiliated you, not for the humiliation itself, but for the opportunity for growth it provided, you completely free yourself from the power they had over you. Gratitude is such a high frequency that it simply dissolves the dense energy of resentment. And here something beautiful happens. The person who humiliated you, upon realizing that you have become grateful for the experience, encounters something their mind cannot process. How do you humiliate someone who transforms poison into medicine? How do you diminish someone who finds blessings even in the most difficult experiences? A special moment in our soulful conversation. If these words resonate with you, if you feel this message has arrived at the perfect time, I invite you to join our family of awakened souls. Click the subscribe button now and hit the notification bell, because together we're co-creating a spiritual elevation movement that's transforming lives worldwide. Each time you subscribe, you're not just receiving content, you're joining thousands who've chosen evolution over stagnation, love over fear, light over darkness. Your presence in this community matters more than you can imagine. The eighth transformation, the elevation that makes you untouchable. Edgar Cayce revealed that there are dimensions of consciousness, vibrational levels where we operate our life experience. When someone belittles you, they're trying to pull you down to their dimension of suffering, to their frequency of pain. Spiritual elevation is the conscious act of staying in higher frequencies, where cruelty simply can't reach you. This elevation happens through practices. Cayce recommended meditation, prayer, spiritual study, acts of service, communion with nature. Each time you engage in these uplifting activities, you're climbing the vibrational ladder of existence. Imagine you're on a high mountain and someone in the valley yells insults at you. The physical distance makes the words arrive as distant murmurs. So it is with spiritual elevation. You position yourself at an energetic altitude where attempts at humiliation arrive as faint echoes from a dimension you've transcended. The person who tried to diminish you encounters something frustrating. Someone who seems to inhabit a different reality, more luminous, more peaceful. It's like trying to hit someone on the other side of a wide river with stones. The stones fall into the water before reaching their target. Cayce spoke of the inner Christ, that divine spark that dwells within every human being. When you connect with this higher essence, you naturally become untouchable to external low vibrations, not through arrogance or superiority, but through alignment with your true nature. The ninth alchemy, the light that exposes the shadows. One of Edgar Cayce's most profound revelations was about the nature of a spiritual light. It taught us that when we develop our inner luminosity, that light automatically exposes the unhealed shadows around us. The person who belittles you is, in fact, reacting to your light, not because you did something wrong, but because your presence illuminates dark aspects they prefer to keep hidden. It's like lighting a candle in a dark room. The candle does nothing aggressive, but its mere presence reveals hidden corners, accumulated dust, misplaced objects. So it is with your spiritual evolution. It simply exists, and that luminous existence can disturb those still living in darkness. When you understand this dynamic, humiliation transforms into confirmation. Each attempt to diminish you is, in fact, testimony that your light is shining brightly enough to disturb others' darkness. It's a compliment disguised as an insult. Cayce reminded us that Jesus was persecuted not for being evil, but for being too good. His light exposed the hypocrisy, corruption, and falsehood around him. And the more he shone, the more some tried to extinguish his light. You are experiencing a smaller version of this same dynamic. The light you carry isn't yours to hide or dim to avoid disturbing others. It's a beam gift you should honor and share. When someone belittles you because of that light, you can smile inwardly, knowing you're fulfilling your mission to raise the planet's vibration. The 10th revelation, the love that wins without fighting. We arrive at the most powerful transformation of all, unconditional love. Edgar Cayce taught us that love is the most powerful force in the universe, capable of dissolving any negative energy, healing any wound, transforming any situation. But we're not talking about emotional, romantic, or sentimental love. We're talking about cosmic, universal, divine love. When someone belittles you, and you can respond with genuine love, not approval of the behavior, but love for the wounded soul behind the behavior, you activate a force that is literally irresistible. It's like responding to darkness with pure light. The darkness simply disappears. This love doesn't arise from the mind or the emotional heart. It arises from the recognition that you and the person who belittles you are different expressions of the same divine source. You are drops from the same cosmic ocean, sparks from the same eternal flame. Humiliation is just a temporary role-playing game in a larger play. Kaise saw in the Akashic records how souls intertwine through multiple existences, sometimes as allies, sometimes as adversaries, always learning from each other. Unconditional love is the recognition of this eternal dance, this sacred partnership, disguised as conflict. When you truly love someone who belittles you, something miraculous happens. That person encounters something they can't fight. How do you attack someone who loves you? How do you diminish someone who says your divinity, even when you've forgotten it? It's impossible. Love wins without fighting, transforms without forcing, heals without medication. The synthesis, the eloquent silence of the evolved soul. We've journeyed together through sacred territories of inner transformation. We've seen how 10 profoundly spiritual attitudes can not only silence those who belittle you, but completely transform the energetic dynamic of your existence. Each of these attitudes is a step on the ladder of spiritual evolution, a step towards your true divine nature. Edgar Cayce constantly reminded us that we are spiritual beings living a temporary material experience. From this cosmic perspective, earthly humiliations are like passing clouds that momentarily obscure the sun, but can never extinguish its eternal light. When you embrace mindful silence, spiritual elegance, transformative compassion, liberating forgiveness, quiet success, sacred indifference, alchemical gratitude, vibrational elevation, illuminating light, and unconditional love, you're not just defending yourself against external attacks, you're remembering who you truly are. And who are you truly? You are a being of infinite light, a unique and precious expression of divine consciousness, a co-creator with cosmic forces, an eternal soul on a journey of self-improvement. No cruel word, no temporary humiliation, no attempt at belittling can alter this fundamental truth. The person who humiliates you is reacting to your light, not your darkness. They are revealing their own wounds, not your flaws. They are fulfilling a cosmic role of awakening within you strengths you may not have even known you possessed. Every humiliation faced with the spiritual awareness is a disguised initiation, a test of your evolution, an opportunity to demonstrate that you have transcended the need for external validation to recognize your inner worth. When you master these 10 attitudes, something magical happens. You become immune to attempts at belittling, not because you've developed a hard shell around your heart, but because you've expanded your consciousness beyond the reach of others' cruelty. People begin to notice something different about you. An inexplicable serenity, a gentle yet undeniable strength, a presence that calms storms without uttering a word. You become a beacon of light in a humanity still, learning to navigate between light and shadow. And those who try to humiliate you, they are confronted with something they don't know how to process. Someone who has transformed poison into medicine, who has found pearls in the mud, who has discovered hidden treasures in the heart of adversity. Many will naturally fall silent, not out of fear or intimidation, but out of fear or intimidation, but out of fear or unconscious recognition that they are in the presence of something sacred. Others will try to understand how you achieved this transformation, becoming curious about the path you have walked. But the most beautiful thing is that you will discover that you no longer need anyone to be silent. External validation will become irrelevant when you find the inexhaustible source of worth within yourself. The opinions of others will become like distant echoes on a high mountain, audible but powerless to disturb. Edgar Cayce taught us that all true healing begins from the inside out. When you heal the need for external approval, when you heal the wound that allowed humiliations to affect you, you not only transform yourself, you become an agent of transformation for everyone around you. Your peace becomes contagious. Your serenity inspires others to seek their own. Your light lights lamps in hearts that have forgotten their own luminosity. You become part of the cosmic solution, a collaborator in the elevation of planetary consciousness. And when you look back at all the times you were humiliated, you feel a deep and genuine gratitude, not for the pain you felt, but for the strength you discovered, not for the moments of darkness, but for the light they revealed, not for the tears you shed, but for the compassion they cultivated. Each person who tried to diminish you becomes, in retrospect of wisdom, a exquisite teacher, an angel with the face of an adversary, an unwitting collaborator on your journey of spiritual awakening. The question that echoes in eternity and now, dear soul, who has come this far, on this journey of words and revelations, I leave you with a question that echoes in the ethereal dimensions of consciousness, a question that Case would ask if he were here talking to us. If you knew, with absolute certainty, that every person who humiliated you was sent by the universe to awaken the sleeping divinity within you, how would that change the way you see not only those difficult moments of the past, but also the challenges that still lie ahead on your journey of infinite evolution? Allow this question to dance in your consciousness, to echo in your dreams, to bloom in your meditations, because the answer you find will not come from the mind, but from the heart of the soul that you truly are, eternal, luminous, invincible, and infinitely loved by the cosmos that created you to shine.